Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a follow-on video from my previous two where I showed you how we booked and budgeted for our family holiday to Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. Today's video is a collaboration with attractiontickets.com because together we wanted to show you how booking your family holiday to Walt Disney World doesn't need to be a once-in-a-lifetime holiday. Now that we're home, I wanted to share with you a full breakdown of everything we spent whilst out there, because I know when we first started looking there are so many different options to choose from that it's hard to know where to begin. So I really hope this video, along with my previous two, which I'll link down below in my description box, will be helpful for you and help in your decision-making process. Also, now that we're back home, I wanted to reflect back on our holiday and think if there was anything that we would change if we were to book our trip again. Our budget for this holiday was £6,000 for the week, and that had to cover our flights, accommodation, our Disney park tickets, our transfers over here in the UK to the airport and also on the other side, all of our food and our drinks and our souvenirs too. We actually came in slightly under budget, which meant we had a little bit more to spend on souvenirs. Before I get into this video, I just wanted to mention that we really wish we had stayed for 2 weeks. Our budget wouldn't have had to double if we had stayed for 2 weeks. The only increase we would have incurred would have been the accommodation and our spending money on our food and drinks bill. Our Disney park tickets were £1,400 for the four of us, and that was for a 14 consecutive day pass. When we bought our Disney passes, there was an offer on where you buy a 14-day ticket for the price of a 7-day ticket. So we wouldn't have had to pay any extra for our Disney park tickets had we had stayed an extra week. Also, our flights were going to be exactly the same price if we had stayed for 2 weeks or 1 week. So the only increase we would have had to spend was an extra £925 on our accommodation and probably about an extra £1,000 on our food and drinks bill, bringing our total to around £8,000. I also wanted to mention that if you're booking for next year, I would recommend waiting to see if the free Disney dining and drinks offer comes back available this year. This is something I read about when researching the best Walt Disney World offers, but it is something you need to book the year before in order to qualify. This offer means that anyone booking a special offer room at a participating Disney Resort hotel for selected arrival dates in 2021 also gets free Disney dining and drinks with their booking. Book a selected Disney Value Resort and you'll get free breakfast each day. Book a selected Disney Moderate Resort and you'll get a free Disney Quick Service Dining Plan. Or book a selected Disney Deluxe or Deluxe Villa Resort and you'll get a free Disney Dining Plan. Obviously, if you're traveling on a budget, your first thought would be to book a Disney Value Resort, but it might be worth checking out how much money you could save on food if you went for a Disney Moderate Resort instead during this offer. It's definitely worth a look if you're looking to book a 2021 holiday. Right, so with all that said, let's get into what we spent. So I will start off with our flights. We flew indirect. We flew from London Heathrow to Washington and then from Washington to Orlando. At first, we thought this would be horrible with kids, but honestly, it was surprisingly easy. It was actually really nice to stretch your legs after about 8 hours on our flight and have a little wander around, and then we had about an hour or two layover in Washington and we got straight on our flight to Orlando. What we also managed to do was go through customs in Washington, which saved us so much time in Orlando. Our indirect flights cost us £1,400, which was a massive £1,600 saving over direct flights. The direct flights for the four of us were coming out at £3,000. So that £1,600 saving was effectively our spending money out in Orlando. If we were to book this holiday again, I would 100% book indirect flights again. And actually, since trying out an indirect flight there, now when we book our next family holidays, I will 100% be looking into if it is cheaper by flying indirect there too. Next, we chose our accommodation. We had a couple of different options from Airbnb to hotels to hiring a villa, but eventually we settled on and booked the Wyndham Lake Garden Buena Vista Hotel. This was booked through attractiontickets.com, and together booking our Disney park tickets as well as our accommodation with them as well, we managed to unlock quite a few benefits. The Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista Hotel is a Disney partner hotel which offers loads of its own benefits in itself. It offers free shuttles to and from all the different Disney parks every single day. The shuttle buses come every single half an hour and literally run like clockwork. They are brilliant and they saved us so much money on taxis or Ubers whilst we were out there. When we were checking into our hotel, we cheekily asked if there were any dining offers available, and we were given kids eat breakfast free every single morning whilst we were there. This saved us $130 in total, which is a huge amount of money when you're not expecting it. So we were really grateful for that, and it is definitely something I would recommend just asking. You may not get it, but you may be lucky and they might just give you one of those like they did for us too. Our hotel was also in a brilliant location. The furthest Disney park from us was 25 minutes, and we were also right next door to Disney Springs, which is actually where we went and had dinner most evenings. Next up, we booked our Disney park tickets through attractiontickets.com. We compared many companies and they were the best value given all the extra freebies that came with our order. Attraction tickets are up to protected, so we knew if anything went wrong with our purchase, our money was completely protected. When we purchased our Disney park tickets, there was also an offer running at the time where adults tickets were sold at kids prices, and our purchased 7-day Disney park ticket was valid for 14 consecutive days instead of 7. In total, we spent £1,400 on all 4 of our tickets. Before we left the UK, there were a couple of things that we had to do before we could get our holiday started. We spent £9 each on our ESTA, so it was £36 in total for the 4 of us. We spent £165 on our Heathrow car parking, and that included a night stay in the hotel because our flight was so early in the morning, and it also included a meet and greet for our car parking too. We also bought a couple of different Disney merchandise before we left. We bought some Mickey ears, we bought some t-shirts for the kids and some pajamas for the kids too, and in total we spent £50 on all of these things. When totaling the money we've spent in Orlando, I've kind of grouped them into categories for ease. So I've done food, I've done souvenirs, and I've also done transport as well. Food was by far what we spent the most on. We spent £1,370 on our food for the week, but this included everything we had at the airport, all of our breakfasts, our lunches, our snacks, our dinners, and also we went to the supermarket a few times. So it includes every single thing we spent on food over the week. It also included all of our drinks, and every evening at dinner time, Chris would treat ourselves to a little glass of wine or two. Breaking this down further, we spent £220 on breakfast, but this also included £70 on a Disney character breakfast. We booked this within our hotel as it was not only cheaper than booking one on site at Walt Disney World, but it also offered us a lot more availability too. We spent £250 on lunch and snacks. Whenever we would have breakfast within our hotel, we always made sure we had a really substantial breakfast. So whenever we went to the Disney parks, we only really needed to buy snacks. We actually only bought lunch once within the Disney parks because all the other times we'd either had a substantial breakfast, so we only needed to buy a snack of a coffee, a cake, or a piece of fruit, and the other times we actually brought in some packed lunches of our own. As we had mainly had snacky lunches, by the time it came to dinner we were all really ready for a big proper meal. So this is where we splurged. We spent £830 in total on our dinners, and like I said, we would go over the road to Disney Springs and we would choose like quite a nice restaurant to go to. Every night we'd spend between £100 and £120 on our dinner, but for us this was the perfect time to sit down as a family and reflect on what a wonderful day we had had. We could easily have found some more budget friendly quick service options, but like I said, for us this was a real kind of family time for us to get together and just reflect on what a lovely day we had had. I also wanted to mention about the 20% tipping. It's quite a lot more than we're used to tipping over here in the UK, so it's definitely worth bearing in mind because when the bill comes along, you don't want to have forgotten about that and not budgeted for it and then get a bit of a surprise. Also, the portion sizes over there are really substantial. My family eat a lot, and even when the kids would order their kids portions, there were always leftovers. Finally, we spent an extra £70 in the supermarkets buying some packed lunch goodies and also some breakfast stuff. The reason we decided to buy some breakfast things of cereals and bread and milk is because on the days that we wanted to get to Disney parks early, we decided it was best to just get up, have a bowl of cereal in our room, and then just get straight down onto the shuttle buses. Our next main expense was the airport transfer from Orlando Airport to our hotel. I pre-booked this and it was £115 for a return trip. But when I got to the airport, because we'd never been there before, I didn't know how much it should cost. When we got there, I checked on my Uber app and it was £25 for us to get from Orlando Airport to the Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista Hotel. So this is an area where we could have saved more money. We could have saved £65 if I just got an Uber both ways instead of pre-booking our transport. But that's definitely something you need to look into, because obviously costs vary depending on where your accommodation is. So don't go by how much we saved, because obviously your accommodation may be further away than ours was. We also caught a couple of Ubers whilst we were out in Orlando. We decided to go over to the outlet store one evening, so we caught an Uber to and from there. We also decided to get transport to and from Disney's Blizzard Beach water park. Even though there is transport available, because we were just wet and wanted to get home, we decided to just quickly call an Uber. So in total, for the different Uber journeys that we took around Orlando, we spent an extra £80 on that, bringing our total transport cost within Orlando up to £195. Souvenirs is where we spent the least on. We spent £175 on souvenirs in total, and that was for the boys each to get a little toy, for us to get a thank you card and a little gift for our friends who were looking after our dog Lulu, and also this family photo frame so we could keep a family photo of our week away in it. Lastly, we left our maid a £70 tip. We really didn't know if that was enough or not enough, so we kind of just based it on £10 a day. So we left her $100 in the room, and like I said, I'm not sure if that's way too much or way too less. It'd be great if you guys could comment down below and let people know what maybe is kind of recommended as a room tip. And I'm sure a lot of people are in the same position as we are and don't really know what is expected to be left. So as a roundup, our holiday to Walt Disney World Resort in Florida came out at £5,836. Like I said, I wish we had done it for 2 weeks, because our budget wouldn't have had to double to incorporate the next week, as most of it had already been paid for. So in hindsight, looking back, there are a couple of things I would probably change about our holiday if we were to book again. The first, like I said at the beginning, would be the length of time we stayed for. We spent £5,836 on our holiday, but if we had stayed for that extra week, which most of the things were already paid for, like our Disney park tickets and our flights, we only probably would have needed an extra £1,500 to £2,000 to cover our accommodation and spending money. And I really feel like we should have taken advantage of this. If we had stayed for the 2 weeks, I probably would have changed our accommodation as well. Even though the Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista is a Disney partner hotel which offered so many extra benefits like the free shuttle buses, I feel like if we had stayed in a villa, we could have saved so much more money on our food and drinks bill. I know if we had stayed in a villa, we'd have done maybe 1 or 2 big supermarket shops, and then we would have had all of our breakfast in the villa. We would have taken packed lunches into the Disney park probably every single day, and then we would have had meals out, but it maybe would have been alternate nights out, so 1 night in the villa and 1 night out for dinner. And I feel like through that we really would have saved so much extra money. But what also is worth bearing in mind is that if you do stay in a villa, you would then need to either hire a car and then pay for your parking within the Disney parks every single day, or you would need to pay for your Ubers or taxis to and from the parks. So you do need to weigh up all of these different costs that would come with hiring a villa. But I do feel for a longer holiday that staying in a villa would have actually worked out cheaper. Since getting home and going over our holiday and thinking of all the different things that I would change, I honestly don't think there's anything else that I would change if we went back. We had the most amazing family holiday there, and since we've been home, we've all had such terrible Disney blues. It was just absolutely amazing, and we are 100% not done with Disney. We are definitely going to go back. I knew I would like the Disney parks, but I honestly didn't realize how much I would love them. We're definitely not finished with Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, and I can't wait to start planning our next trip out there. Another thing that really struck us when we were out there is how immaculate everything is. It was so refreshing to drive along the main roads and not see a single piece of litter, and in every single Disney park everything is just beautiful and so well manicured. I feel like Walt Disney World have really thought of absolutely everything, even down to when you queue. You queue for a ride, but you don't feel like you're queuing because there's so many things that as you're walking around for you to look at, that it kind of takes your mind off the fact that you're queuing. And because you're snaking around like this, you're constantly moving as well, so your queuing time just feels like it goes like that. This holiday was such an amazing adventure, and I honestly cannot thank Attraction Tickets enough for working with me on this collaboration and for giving my family such an amazing experience. I really hope my videos have been useful for you, and like I said, I will link all the other videos down below in my description box. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, then please just comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. All I can say now is that if you're thinking of booking a family holiday to Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, then do it. Honestly, you will not regret it. It was one of the best experiences we've had in our lives and memories that would just last forever. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!